Hello everyone. So in today's session I will be dealing with circles for grade 11 and I will be solving few extra problems as well. So I can assure you that after seeing this session you will be clear with the circle concept for grade 11 CBSE board. So let us start with the equation of the circle that is given by x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r square, where h comma k is the center of the circle and r is the radius. Keeping this in mind, let us start with the problems. While doing the problems, we will come to know the concepts much better. So the first question is to find the equation of the circle with center as this and radius as this. Now we very well have equation that is of this form. So first of all you identify what is the value of h and k. So as they have already mentioned that this is the center, that means g is 1 by 2 and h is 1 by 2 and k is 1 by 4 and r is 1 by 12. Now let's go on and substitute in the equation of the circle that we have. So x minus h is half, and y minus k, where k is 1 by 4, r square, where r is 1 by 12. Now you just have to apply the formula of a minus b whole square for both of these terms and then combine all the constant terms together and the other terms together. Keep in mind not to leave any denominator, so take LCM throughout. So over here when you take the LCM you will get 144 and then you will get common terms and finally you will end up with this. So make sure to write x square y term first and then x term and y term, and the last is the constant term. So this is how we are supposed to present our answer, that is equation of a circle. Now let's move on with how about if we are given just the endpoints. In the sense, I have been given 2 points, let's say minus 1 comma 2 and 3 comma minus 4, like this. Now I have been asked that you need to draw a circle such that the diameter is this. Now we know that for getting equation of a circle I need center and I need radius, but in this case I can get that, but that would be a bit more tedious process. So we have a standard equation wherein we are being asked to draw a circle passing through the line joining 2 points, which acts as in diameter, and the equation is given by this. It's very easy to memorize. So x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2 is equal to 0. You just have to substitute the values. Again, since x and x are there, you are going to end up with x square as well as y square, which is very necessary for a circle equation, otherwise it's not a circle equation. So when you will solve, you will get a quadratic equation here in x and here in y. You are supposed to again combine and write into this format. So the most important thing to memorize over here is this, where x1 y1 and x2 y2 are the endpoints of the diameter through which the circle is passing. Now the next question is, this is even in our NCERT, that we need to find the equation of a circle, but the conditions are that the circle passes through these 2 points. That means if you have a circle, they have mentioned 2 points through which it is passing and whose center is on the line this. So for consider this is the circle and this is the center. So here is a line and it's passing through the center. That means what? The center will satisfy this equation because it's passing through it, and these 2 points will satisfy the equation of the circle. So when we start with the circle equation, we let this as in circle equation, and now we are supposed to find the unknown, that is h, k and r. Now since this passes through these 2 points, we are supposed to substitute x and y with 2, 3 and minus 1, 1. Now the mistake that student makes in this case is they substitute this in place of h and k. That's not what it is being said, that because if you substitute in place of h and k, that means you are telling that this is the center because h and k denote center. So you are supposed to substitute in place of x and y. So when you substitute, you are again supposed to apply a minus b whole square formula, and then you will get this equation. And when you substitute minus 1 and 1 in place of x and y in this equation, you will end up with this. Now you have two equations in two variables. Now the best part is, in both you have h square and k square, and here also you have h square k square, and you have r square with the same sign. So when I will subtract these two, these terms will get eliminated and you will get a linear equation in two variables, and the two variables being h and k. Right? Now one more equation we have, because I have three unknowns, that is h, k and r. So I require three equations. So two I got from this, and the next one is, they also mentioned that the center of the circle passes through this point or lies on this point. That means h comma k satisfy this equation because the center is h comma k. Okay. Now as I said, when you subtract these two equations, you will get a linear equation in one variable, and another linear equation in two variable is here. Now you have two equation in two variables, and when you solve it, it's pretty easy. I think you can see very well over here. So h minus 3k minus 11, 6h plus 4k. So maybe you can multiply this by 6. So you will get 6h minus 6 times 3 is 18, and you will get here 66. So when you subtract, this will be cancelled, and this you will get as let's say 22k is equal to some value will come over here, and when you solve it further, you will get these two values. So I got the center now. Now the only part is to get the radius. Now I already have an equation. Now I would suggest students not to go on and substitute in this to get r, because here you have to substitute so many times. Instead of substituting this, go on and substitute in this equation directly. That's a wise thing to do. Okay. So you put the value of h and k, and then just subtract and solve the inside part, and then square both of them, and then you will get. Now don't try to go on and find r value, which will come as under root, because in the equation I always put r square and not r. So I am not worried about getting r value, because they are just asking equation of the circle, not the radius. If they ask radius, you would have gone and did like this. But now it's just the equation. Now you got r square. So the form was x minus k whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r square. So go on and substitute, and this is the equation of your circle, which passes through these 2 points, and the center also lies on this line. Now the next question is, find the equation of a circle of radius 5. Now the radius has been already given to me, whose center lies on x axis. I have some information on the center where it lies, and it passes through this point. Now it passes through this point means it will satisfy. Okay, so you have to make sure you satisfy that equation using x and y as these two values. Now since they have said that the center lies on x axis, we know that any point lying on x axis is of the form x comma 0, isn't it? Because y coordinate will always be 0 throughout the x axis. So that's why I am taking the center to be a comma 0, where a can be any value. Now the circle passes through this point. It's already being said, right? So let's keep that in mind. Also radius is already given to me. Now radius is the distance from the center to any point lying on the circle, right? Now this is a point that lies on the circle, and I know the center, so this distance is radius. So now I will be applying distance formula. So it is a minus 2 whole square, and then the next is 0 minus 3 whole square, which is nothing but again 3 square. So this square I am taking to here, you will get r square. R square is 5 square, and then you solve it over here, you will get this. Now 5 square minus 3 square, you already know that it's a 4 square. That means a minus 2 whole square is equal to 4 square. This implies that a minus 2 is equal to plus or minus 4. So, the important thing over here to make a note is this, right. So, if we say x square is equal to y square, and this implies x is equal to plus or minus y, not just plus value. So, this is a very important note that you have to make. Also, I would like to tell you that whenever you write like this, for example, y is always 2, that is all, it is not plus or minus 2. But when you write y square as 4, in this case y is plus or minus 2. So, there is a difference which mostly everyone does not know, and they actually misinterpret and take both the way. It is not true. Whenever you have under root 4, it is just 2. But when you have y square is equal to 4, it is y is equal to plus or minus 2. Alright. So, this is the thing I would like you to remember over here, that x square is equal to y square, then x is equal to plus or minus y. And if you do not want to use this logic, you can just apply a minus 2 whole square formula. You will get a quadratic equation. From there anyway you will get 2 roots, which is plus and minus 4. Now, you can apply with plus 4 you will get the value a as 6, with minus 4 you would get the value as minus 2. Now, you have what? You got center 6 comma 0 and minus 2 comma 0. Sorry, you got center and radius is already given to you, that is 5. So, substitute in this equation and you will get 2 equation of a circle. That means what? I have 2 points that lie on x axis such that I can draw a circle of radius 5. Both of them are passing through the same point. That is what it means. Coming to the next question, find the equation of a circle concentric with the circle this and having its area equal to 16 pi. Now, let us understand the question first, what it is trying to tell me. It is trying to tell that there is a circle whose equation is already given to us. Next is, I need to find a concentric circle. It could be maybe inside or outside. Concentric circle are the circles with the same center. So, it could be maybe inside the given circle or outside the given circle, but the condition is that circle should have the area as 16 pi. Now, we very well know that area is pi r square. So, if I want 16 pi, then I have to get a particular radius so that I get this as the radius, this as an area, but keeping in mind that the center is the center of this circle. I hope the question is clear. Let us move on. So, this is the equation of a circle. So, I am trying to write it into the standard form that we have so that I can get center as well as radius from this. So, when you write, I am dividing throughout by 2, and then what I am trying to do is I have x square plus 4x. So, I am doing completing the square over here. Let us have a look what we actually do. So, I have x square and I have 4x. So, you take the coefficient of x, which is 4, divided by 2. Then this term you square, add and subtract. So, here I have added, and from in this side itself when you subtract, this has been taken to other side. Similarly, over here you have 5. So, this you will divide by 2. Whatever you get, you are supposed to add and subtract. So, here I have added, and when I subtract the same term, that they have took it to other side over here. I hope it is clear. And then this becomes x plus 2 the whole square, because it is x square plus 2ab into b square. Similarly, this also becomes a complete square, this. And here you have to simplify using fractions, LCM and all, you will end up with this. Now, this has come into the form which you are already aware of. It is in the form of x minus 2 the whole square plus y minus 5 by 2 the whole square, and that is equal to under root 119 by 4 the whole square. Right? Let me just erase that. The reason I am writing into that form is to make you understand that over here the center is minus 2 and minus 5 by 2, because when we started we said it should be of this form. So this can be written as x minus of minus 2 the whole square. So this becomes our h. Similarly, this is our k. Now I got the center. That means I want to make a circle with keeping this as a center such that its area is 16 pi. So the only thing I need to find is the radius now. So the radius of the circle, let it be r. So 16 pi is equal to r square, pi cancel, so you will get r as 4. You will get again r as minus 4 also, but radius cannot be negative, so we will be neglecting that. Because I already mentioned that r square is equal to 16, which is 4 square. So you are supposed to take it as r plus or minus 4, but again as I said, r cannot be negative, so we are neglecting. So the equation of the circle with center this and radius as 4 is this. So we got an equation of a circle whose center is minus 2 comma minus 5 by 2, whose radius is 4, which is concentric with the given equation of the circle, and also the area is 16 pi. So this is a very interesting problem, I would say. Now the next is, this question comes for an MCQ and this is the easiest way to get it. So they are asking us to find the center and the radius of the circle, which we have been doing from the beginning of this session. So this is the equation. Now we already know that if the equation is of this form, we can very well get the center and the radius, but it is not of that form. Also, this is the general form of circle, we would say. This is general form of circle. And the note here that we should be taking is, general form of a circle, the coefficient of x and y will always be equal. So coefficient of x has to be equal to coefficient of y. And there should not be any term containing xy. Right? This should not happen. Then only we can say it's an equation of a circle, otherwise it's not. If the coefficients are different over here, then it's not an equation of a circle and we cannot approach this method to get the center. Right, now let's move on. Now this is the thing that I would like to tell you. This is a general form of an equation, which is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So you have x square y square term. You may or may not have x term, y term, that is not a necessity, and then you have c term. Whenever an equation of is this form, then we say the center is minus g comma minus f and the radius is given by square root of g square plus f square minus c. Now over here when you compare, you can very well see that this is your 2g because it is over here 2gx. So the coefficient of x, which is 2g, here the coefficient of x is minus 4. Similarly, the coefficient of y is minus 8 and here it is 2f. So we are going on and comparing and you will get g and f value. Now as you know, when you get g and f value, the center is what? Minus g comma minus f. So the center is here 2 comma 4. Because as I said, it's minus g comma minus f, so which will be minus of minus 2 comma minus of minus 4. And the radius is given by, so over here when you compare, c value is minus 45. So when you substitute as g square plus f square minus c inside under root, you will get this under root 65 as your radius. That's what is being asked. They're asking us to find the center and the radius of the circle. We got the center and we got the radius. And now if you want, you can even write the same equation in this form, which we are very well aware of. But in our textbook, they are also finding center and radius using completing the square method. So let me teach you that as well. So what we do is we collect all the x terms together and all the y terms together, and then we do completing the square for x and y separately, as I told you already over here. Same thing you are doing. And why the reason we are doing is we are already aware about this form. Now once I do completing the square, I will end up with this form, and using this form I can very well tell that the center is 2, 4 and the radius is under root 65, because this should be written in this form, right? R square form. So this becomes the radius. So either you can do this completing the square, or you can compare this and solve it. Now the next and the last topic for today's class is to find the position of the point, in the sense that we will be giving you a point P, that means the coordinate of that point, and an equation of a circle. And we will be asking whether it lies inside, outside, or on the circle, that means circumference. Now how are you supposed to find? First of all, you need to get the equation of the circle, and you need to find the radius. Why we need to find the radius? Because if the distance of the point that you have given me from the center of the circle is less than the radius, that means what? It is inside. Why? Because the point, if the distance is less than the radius, let's say the one point, let it be here, one point, let it be here, one point, let it be here. So the radius is here. So this, when you find the distance, this distance is always less than the radius. So it will be inside. Similarly, this will be greater. So it is outside. And this is on the circle, which will be equal. I hope I am making sense to you guys. Let me draw it for you again. Consider this is the circle. Okay. Now here, this is the center that we have, O. If the, let us say the point, let it be here, one point here and another point, let it be here. Now when I find the distance, this distance and this distance, let's say, so this is my radius. So if radius is equal to the distance, that means it's lying on the circumference, that's being said. But if this is the point, and if this distance is less than the radius, that means it is inside. Similarly, if this distance is more than r, that means it's outside. That's what is being said. So for finding this, you for sure need the center coordinates, and then you need the radius. Let's see one question. So they have given one point, minus 2.5 and 3.5, and an equation of a circle, and they are asking where does this lie, inside, outside, or on the circle. So what we are supposed to find, as I said, you need to first find the center and the radius. By looking at this itself, we can say the center is 0, 0, because it's of this form. So center is 0, 0 and the radius is 5. Now you are supposed to find the distance. Distance of what? From the center to the point. So when you apply, so hence here 0, 0, so you can directly write this square. Now when you do it, you will get it approximately this, but this is actually 18.49. The square of this is 18.49, which is very much near to this. So we are writing approximately this is the distance, which is significantly, we can see, is less than the radius. That means this point lies inside the circle. Alright. So let us go on and quickly go through what we learned in today's session. So we started with the equation of a circle, and then we said to find the equation of a circle. So first question was to find the equation of a circle. Given the center and the radius, you was just supposed to substitute and apply a minus b whole square formula, combine the like terms and get it. Next one was to get the equation of a circle again using the endpoints of a diameter, which was very direct, which was x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2 is equal to 0. The next one is we have to find the equation of a circle with some conditions being given. It could be, let's say the circle is passing through 1 point or 2 point and the center is passing through some other point or maybe a line. So we assume the equation of a circle, we made it to pass through and we got two equations in two variables. We simplified it and got equation in two variable, linear equation in two variable. For that I got another equation using the center one, and then we solve to get the center, and then we substitute this back in any one equation to get radius. Now once you got center and radius, you can go on and substitute in the direct equation. Again, another question we had is some condition on center is being given, radius is given here, you are not supposed to find, but they have said it passes through some point. So whenever some conditions are being given, it's not necessary that you will get just one equation of a circle, because over here you can see that you got two equation of a circle with two different center but same radius and also lying on x axis, also passing through the same point. So the important thing over here in this question was to make sure you consider all the values that is coming while solving the problem. So here x square is equal to y square implies x is equal to plus or minus y. And then we had an equation based on concentric circle, keeping in mind I am supposed to find a circle whose radius is this but which is concentric with this. Concentric means the center should be same. So I am using this equation to get the center, that's all, nothing much. And then I am finding the radius for which this will be the area, and then I am just going on and substituting in the equation. Next is we are using general form of the equation. Also I mentioned that the coefficient of x square and y square should be same, then only it's an equation of a circle. Also there are two more conditions. Another is that there should not be any term of xy in it, then only we can say it's an equation of a circle. So for such an equation, we say center is minus g comma f and the radius is given by under root g square plus f square minus c. So from this equation, we have two methods, either to use this directly by comparing and getting the value, or else we are supposed to do completing the square, which we did in the 2-3 previous questions as well, and from there we can directly say what's the center and what's the radius. And finally we understood that how can we say a point is lying on the circle, outside or inside. That is by finding the radius and finding the distance of the point from the center of the circle. So don't consider this O is origin, it's the center of the circle. And by comparing, if it's less than r, we say it's inside, if it's equal to r, we say on the circle, and if it's greater than r, we say outside the circle. I hope you understood circles completely, and any question given to you on circles for grade 11, you will be able to approach it and solve it. Thank you for watching my video.